In today's video, I'll be going over the upcoming test ships entering testing on the live server on patch 15.01, which will be in February. All the test ships that are being shown are subject to change, so all opinions are shared off of stats alone and no in-game experience. So I'll be going over these with SAT score, where we went over these on stream with my community. The test ships we're going over today is going to be the Shigure, the Regele Carl I, ZH1, and Unie. Hope you guys enjoy.
From given her stats, she's essentially a tier 8 version of the Shirasuyu at tier 7. A very stealthy torpedo boat. The problem is she's super min-max. She has the best concealment so far, and really good 10-kilometer torpedoes. And her negatives is her top speed sucks, even worse than Kigero. She doesn't have great maneuverability. She gets exhaust smoke, which is good for escaping, but not much else. And her gun, and I think I already mentioned her guns are terrible.
Yeah.
So, like, as I said, the ultimate min-max. If you really like torpedo gameplay, I could see her being very fun to play. But lack of versatility, i.e. your guns suck, even if you get a smoke advantage, means, and your HP sucks too. So, like, Cossack, if he runs into your face, there's nothing you can do, I guess, except
dead.
smoke.
You can use your smoke.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't like the design of this destroyer. It's literally made to do one thing, and that is just torpedo destroyers. It sucks at almost torpedo other ships, and it kind of sucks at almost everything else. I really don't like these one-trick ponies.
Yeah, I can feel
especially when their one trick is basically torpedoes, inherently unreliable to start with.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes throughout the testing process for the ship.
Yeah, I can see it being pretty strong in its current state. It's definitely going to go through some changes, especially since that 5.2 concealment probably still will overpower her compared to other weaknesses. So I could see a few things being tweaked.
Okay, I gotta turn on my air real quick. Give me 1 second. Give me a second. Alright, I'm back. I'm back. Cool. I'm about to... Alright, cool, I'm back. Ow. Apparently a lot of people are getting hacked. It's going around again, not just with WoWs, just in general. The purge, it's another wave.
It's like the flu season.
Yeah, they go in through patches. It's another wave. Unfortunate, dude.
Unless Discord updates their unless they update their design, I don't see this kind of attack going down. If anything, it's just going to go up, because think of it this way: once you compromise an account and start sending it out, it doesn't matter if 99 people immediately see it as being a hack. If that one person out of 100 follows through, then you get another account and you can do it all over again.
Yep, and you do it again and again.
Yeah, like, unfortunately, Discord really has changed their design.
They have
at least changed their security on how it works, because it's pretty easy to just compromise an account like that. And for what I heard, Snarf even had like two authentication factor enabled, and it still just went through that. Given how a lot of Wargames communications been centered around Discord now, or very dependent on it, it's pretty important that Discord kind of get its security stuff together. Oh, no. You should still click on it because you never know. 99 of those will be scams, but you may find that one sexy single in your area that actually wants to talk to you.
True. All right, so let's look at the next one. So we got the ZH1. So it is the German Dutch airstrike destroyer. All right. Tier 9, 14,600 HP. Guns, it's got 4 with 6-second reload. Torpedoes, it gets 8 in total, 85-second reload, 10-kilometer range. Airstrikes, 32 millimeters of pin, 4,000 damage for the bombs, 10-kilometer range, 25-second reload. Durability, 37.5, concealment. It gets a short burst smoke, the engine boost, 8%, and the 5-kilometer hydro. I talked about this one earlier. Like, it just feels like a Trump, but it has a little bit more versatility to be able to go into a cap and use the short burst smoke to be able to go into engagements and leave engagements. Yeah, they're German
Pretty
torps.
much. It's a mishmash. So, it's actually a Dutch destroyer that the Germans kind of took when they took over the Netherlands. The design, the stats are all over the place. The guns get 30 millimeter pen for what I saw.
Mm-hmm.
Which is pretty dang good. The consumables are more British. You get the short smoke and you get hydro. Let me double check what hydro it gets though.
5 kilometers.
Okay, so pretty good standard hydro. So more of a German ship. The gun DPM, if I calculated correctly, kind of sucks.
It is. A 6-second reload is pretty slow.
So you get 5 guns. 6-second reload means 10 shells per minute. So that's 50 shells you're shooting out. And 50 times 1400 is 70k.
Mm-hmm.
That's awful.
Yeah, that's really, really bad.
Like, I can't understate how awful that is. 70k, you get shit on by a Japanese destroyer, of all things. I'm pretty sure the Shigure's theoretical DPM is higher. That's how bad it is.
Well, that's why you got torps and airstrikes.
Yeah, the torps are 10 kilometers. It's not, tier 9 is 10 kilometers is okay. It starts to feel a bit short, but it's manageable.
Mm-hmm.
It's 2x4 arrangement, correct?
Yeah, two fours, yeah. You're correct.
Okay. The torps aren't really anything spectacular, though. The main reason you play the ZH1, of course, is because of the airstrikes. It half makes sense because it is a Dutch ship in origin, but the Germans kind of took over the ship and completed it. So it gets airstrikes, but importantly, it doesn't benefit from any of the airstrike commanders. So, what was that guy's name? Heinrich doesn't benefit him at all, just because you can't mount it on him.
Yeah, exactly. You can't.
Lucian's is not really great, I guess, because like you can't get enough shells to activate the gun requirements. Obviously, you don't have secondaries. Spotting is pretty typical, same as any other destroyer, and you're not an aircraft carrier.
Yeah.
Hit points though is pretty low. 14,600 is ick.
Yeah,
Not
it's really
great for a
bad.
tier 9.
Yeah, it's not good at all.
So, based on the initial stats, what's its maneuverability first of all?
37.5, 580, and 3.4. It has a really tight turning radius.
That's exceptionally good.
Yeah.
Like, really, really good.
Yeah, that's like YY good, isn't it?
Yeah,
Let me.
much higher top speed. It's basically Fletcher, no, Benson level of maneuverability, which is exceptional at her tier.
Oh yeah, it's really good.
Yep. You get an engine boost as well, which is nice. Concealment, what's the best concealment you can get on her?
Let me build it real quick. 1 second.
Looks like it's about 5.8, 5.7-ish.
I'll just double check. 5.8, which is really good with the hydro combo with the smoke.
It's good by tier 9 standards.
Yeah.
Technically a little bit on a worse end, but it's still really good.
Mm-hmm.
As for it being better looking, debatable.
It is debatable.
Look how they massacred my bridge boy here. Like, they don't even get a bridge. It's just, like, they forgot to put the roof on this thing.
Who needs a roof? What's up there, country lady? How's it going? But yeah, so that's the ZH1. Let's look at the next one is the Unie. I thought, I legit was thinking this thing looks like a Jinan, but just Dutch version. Where instead of torps, it gets an airstrike. So survivability is 37,700. Artillery is 12 120 millimeter guns. 3.6 second reload. Airstrikes are 10.5, and the pen for the bombs are 39 millimeters. So just instantly just poor Golden Lou. Golden Lou only has 37s. This has 39, and it has a 50-second reload for the bombs. So you can build in that as well.
Can Golden Lou get a slight buff in her pen then? Oppress the US battleships?
Yes, please, and thank you. I feel like Golden Lou is slowly just being pushed out of Oblivion. First you had the Utrecht, and then they nerfed the reload, and now you have this.
It kind of is. Like, she's still more comfortable to use, but once you get used to how, like, a Dutch cruiser plays, then Unie is like the try-hard version. Sorry,
Yeah.
not Unie, the Utrecht. Utrecht's the kind of the try-hard version.
Yeah. Like, concealment is going to be... Let me check the concealment real quick.
Around 10-ish.
Yeah, so the airstrike range is 10.5. Concealment goes down to 10.1. It has an emergency engine boost of 25% for 60 seconds, cooldown 92, with a smoke of 20 seconds, 22, and then a cooldown of 148, or 20 and 150 with no commander on it. It has a standard heal and a standard DCP and standard depth charges. But yeah, the fact it has its own smoke screen is really strong.
Yeah, so Wargaming describes her as a continuation, a hypothetical continuation of the D7P class.
Yeah.
And when you look at it, it's very similar to the Utrecht in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
The main difference I see here is the guns. So Unie will have it looks like she has the Friesland guns. Pretty rapid fire, but the shells are pretty floaty.
Mm-hmm.
Utrecht, on the other hand, the guns are more German in origin, and she gets 32mm pen, which is extremely important since you can deal with cruisers much more easily. So, like, I see Utrecht as being a lot more firepower heavy, whereas Unie is more well-rounded in her defenses. Like, you get a smoke, and you said speed boost as well?
Yeah, emergency power, 25%.
Apparently the Dutch can't afford hydro on our post-war cruisers, but they can at least put a smoke on Unie, which makes her a lot more comfortable to play. To a certain extent, of course. If these are actually Friesland shells, then they're gonna force you to play closer anyways, which is not a great recipe if you have to fight something like a Petra or a Moskva.
Mm-hmm. That's gonna be fun at all.
And for airstrikes, you only get one charge. Am I reading this correctly?
Yes, you only get one charge. And again, all the stats we're saying is subject to change.
Yeah, I'm not liking the one charge flight on a tier 10. I feel like it almost feels like oversight because all of the other cruisers and destroyers that have airstrikes at least have two. For Uni to have one just seems kind of weird.
Mm-hmm. That
Yeah,
is pretty weird.
if that's the I expect that to be the first thing to be the change. Like just give them another airstrike because typically at tier 10 you have two. But yeah, I see this as being
ZH1
pretty
also
similar.
has one. Yeah, the
One,
ZH1 also has one as well.
yes, but ZH1's a tier 9, and a couple of the airstrike ships at tier 9 have one. The other one being the Von Spajek.
Mm-hmm.
I think that one's perfectly fine. But at tier 10, unless the airstrike is like super powerful, then I would expect two at the very least. And on the initial stats, I don't see the airstrikes as being particularly hard hitting. You're basically dropping 36 bombs. And while it does hit harder than the Golden Lou, it's not hitting so much harder that it justifies only giving it one slot.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, we'll see how it goes through the testing process.
Yeah, I definitely expect it to be changed just because, well, that airstrike, as I said, is limiting, but at least they have a good basis to work off of, which is to Utrecht. So I don't expect too many changes.
Okay. I'm currently just messing with things real quick. So the next ship that's being released, well, not released, but it's going into testing is the Regele Carol?
Regele Carol 1.
Ah. It looks like a secondary cruiser.
The ship was intended to be the equivalent of the German Deutschland class pocket battleship and would have carried a new 280mm main battery, along with 120mm secondary guns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And yeah, it makes sense. It kind of looks like the Deutschland or the Sheer from a outside perspective. Time to guess which hull it's using.
Nice. Someone told me it's a bad look to eat while streaming. Brother, I need to eat.
Yeah. So 38,500 base HP. Nothing I can think of. No, all of the ships I'm looking at have different.
It has its own hull. It's a new hull.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to. Yeah, that's what I'm double checking here, cause it looks like it does have like a completely new.
Like
hull.
ZH1 has its own hull.
And I could see why. Yeah, it's like why it has such a hull that I don't think only a mom would love in a sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the battle's 25, aft is 25. It's definitely very sittable. But the secondary accuracy is really good on those secondaries, and they're also very fast firing. The ship
Let me see what
maneuverability is
let me see what the red
31,
box says.
concealment is 11. So 1 kilometer difference between its concealment and its secondaries. It does come with a specialized repair crew. So it gets like a 20-second something heal. True, they're sitting.
So basically it's a super heal, right?
Yeah, essentially. And then it has a 60-second cooldown. It gets a 30% engine max speed boost. So 66-second action time with 111-second cooldown with the commander build, and then Hydro is 5 kilometers for the ships and 3.5 for torpedoes, and then a spotter plane.
So a lot of consumables. It gets super heal, and emergency engine power. That seems to be pretty popular with a lot of wargaming ships nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Well,
standard
for
Hydra,
the
standard
European ships, it's like their gimmick is that emergency engine power. That 30% one for the Europeans seems popular.
Yes, kind of yes. The battleships get a pooled speed boost for whatever reason. I'm my personal opinion. I don't like that, but whatever. What's done is done.
Yeah.
Maneuverability is terrible without the speed boost, of course. It does get good AA because it's a pan EU ship, so it has to have good AA. Torpedoes, 12-kilometer torpedoes is surprisingly good, actually.
Yeah, they're
You
really
don't get
fast
very
too.
much. Yeah. All you need to, it's basically like the Italian cruisers. You throw it out. If it hits something, great. If not, oh well. It's whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You're not supposed to use it during drive-bys. You basically just kite and you hope it hits something. Secondary armament, I don't see anything regarding its accuracy.
The dispersion's
Given how-
182.
182?
Mm-hmm. That's why I said that it's accurate.
Let me double check.
To me, it looks like with 182, it's definitely going to be a secondary build. They never have accuracy that low, unless it's like a secondary build that they're trying to go for it. Normally, with accuracy for cruisers, it's like 400 something.
It's 372 normally at 6
Yeah.
kilometers, right?
Yeah. But it was 6.6 when it starts? Yeah, 6.6. Mm-hmm.
So it's probably about as accurate. You said it's one. Okay, so it should have like the Nesbeck dispersion,
Mm-hmm.
the German secondary cruiser dispersion then.
Yeah. Which is pretty good. And the 1.7 second reload's pretty fast.
I do have an issue with its armor pen though. 20 millimeters is terrible.
Yeah, that is terrible. And you can't really build into it. There's not
You
really
build
many...
it-
Sorry, keep going.
I feel like it's you build into range only. You want to get the range out of it so you can start lighting fires, but you don't invest any more because its actual damage output sucks. You just need fires from it. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
The arcs on the secondaries looks pretty good though. They're square in the center, which gives it pretty good broadside arcs. But it can work against it because that's where most of most of the shells from the enemy is gonna hit you.
Yeah, that's the problem. And that Citadel is not the most friendly.
The Citadel is a different problem. But if someone fires HE at you, they're likely gonna take out a secondary or two within like the first few salvos. That's not exactly great when you're in close combat.
No.
And yeah, but definitely the Citadel is a huge problem. It sticks up super high. What the heck? We don't know the heal coefficient just yet, though. We'll have to wait until it enters testing, in which the ship tools will have the underlying code and can tell us what the heal coefficient is. So kind of an interesting brawling cruiser. It looks interesting, but given the initial stats, I think I prefer Nesbeck a bit more. We'll see how this turns out, though.
Mm-hmm. We'll just have to wait and see whenever it comes out. That's all we can do.